I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. Um, it's a very, I guess, personal piece of my life um, that I don't really want to talk about, but I will. Uh, when I was little, I was 2 years old. My parents got divorced. My mother was 17 when she had me. Um, she was married 4 times. The times that she was single, I stayed with my grandparents a lot. That's where I got most of my nurturing was from my grandparents. I knew that it was unconditional love. They loved me so much. The sun rose and set in me. And I was a little brat because they let me get away with too much. But I've been thinking about this now for a long, long time, and I tried to get to the root of why I am a compulsive overeater, why I am a food addict and a binge eater. And when I was little and my mother was not around a lot, she wasn't there with me every day or every night or in the mornings when I woke up. I was with my grandparents a lot. Later on, a little bit later on, once my mother got married and settled and all that, she was always there. Um, but that's a whole nother issue too with food. Food was related to my mother in so many ways. It was a direct link, and I'm remembering things even right now as I make this video. Things are popping into my head that I had forgotten. Um, I'm going to try to get through this. When I was at my grandparents' house, um, they would let me do pretty much anything I wanted to do within reason. If I want, well, let's just talk about the food issue. Yeah, um, I always was eating. I mean, just bam, 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 feeding my face full of food. And I was a chubby kid, and I would eat a lot of times till I got sick. I remember puking a couple of times because I just ate too much, and it was just hard on my body. I ate and I ate and I ate everything, anything in sight. And I think I was maybe I was trying to fill a void. Maybe I was trying to stuff the hole that I felt inside of me. Maybe I'm analyzing myself here, okay? I haven't gone to therapy about this, but I'm analyzing myself about myself. But I think that I just know the way I felt, and I know what I did, and it doesn't take a genius to kind of to figure it out. So I'm thinking maybe I shoved food in my mouth all the time because I missed my mother. Um, and I would go to my dad's on the weekend, or well, not even every weekend, but maybe every 2 or 3 weekends. And he was remarried. He had a family. They loved me. I would go over there, but I just felt kind of like I didn't really felt like I couldn't land anywhere. Does that make sense? I didn't. Everybody. It seems like most of my friends had a mother and a dad, and that's where they lived. But I lived. I would go visit with my dad. I would go visit with my mom. I would be with my grandparents most of the time with my grandparents, and I would be with babysitters a lot. And um, I just felt. I remember always feeling very insecure when I was little. So food was my friend. Um, but it never went away. I was like that my whole life. When I was in junior high school, I started slimming down a little bit. Um, and when I was in high school, I looked pretty good. I had a lot of dates. I was only like I think I weighed 115, 117 in high school. Didn't really have a weight problem. And then my early 20s, um, didn't have a weight problem. But I always was an eater. I was always a binge eater. I was always thinking about food when I got up in the morning, thought about it all day long till I went to bed at night, woke up thinking about it, and that's never changed. When I was in my early 20s, sometimes I didn't have very much money. I mean, I lived in a decent apartment, but every single penny I made went to my bills. And I had no money extra. I didn't have any money for groceries. So if I didn't have a date, I didn't eat a lot of times. And I didn't tell my parents. Sometimes I would go to my grandparents' house and eat um, with them, and they would send me home with leftovers. And that was really a good day when I could do that. But most of the time, a lot of times, my dates probably fainted and hit the floor when I started eating because I was so hungry. But other than that, I really didn't eat much, And but I have always thought about food more than I do almost anything else. What do you think? If you have an opinion on this, I'm really big on feedback. I really like feedback. I like to know what other people think, and tell me if you think that if I'm onto something, because I think I am. I have a feeling if I went to a shrink, they'd tell me the same thing, that I was trying to fill something. The thing is, I've just always been obsessed with food. Remember the other day when I said I lay down flat in the morning and I put my hands on my stomach and it feels pretty flat, over the past few months. And then it started feeling like, I've gained some, and now it's really pooching out. I hate it. I'm disgusted. I'm angry. I'm sad. I want to scream. I want to cry. Um, and I'm so upset with myself that I wish I could undo it, and I can't. And the damage is done. The damage is done now. And it's just not fair how fast it seems like we can gain weight so fast, but it's so hard to lose it. It takes so long to lose, but we can gain it so fast. It's not fair.